Okay, well, I'm back again. I always said I would come back if there were any developments. It's just this wind and rain is just insane. It's just never ending. And I mean, listen to this. I'm just getting rocked. Listen to that. And you can't really tell on camera, but the van is getting rocked. The camera doesn't move. It stays stationary with the van, so you can't really see the movement, but the van is getting rocked pretty bad. And the rain is relentless. And it just can't be good for the vehicle to be getting pounded with rain like that. I'm just thinking of things like the whatever you call it, the paint, the coating. I have never really treated it with any kind of like weather treatment. So it's got to be just eating away at that. And man, I don't, if it keeps up like this all night, I don't know how I'm going to be able to sleep. It's crazy. And it's got to be affecting my mood. I have really no motivation to do anything. It's like I'm not exactly sure what it is, if it's seasonal affective disorder or what. I do take vitamin D every night, but maybe it's not enough. It's the cold, it's the weather. I don't know. I really almost don't have any kind of energy other than just sitting here in bed to do anything. I have a lot of projects and things that I could be doing even in the van, and I just have zero motivation to do any of it right now. Granted, I did have a pretty busy week last week, and I did push myself a little bit, going to 2 open mics 2 nights in a row, and I was up late. Open mics tend to drain me a lot because you're sitting there waiting for your turn to come up, oftentimes very late into the night. And I had a really long night last Wednesday, and maybe I'm still recovering from that. That was like almost a week ago. Just a really busy week with not enough sleep from last week, and this weather, it's just so tedious. It just grinds on you, and it's just hard to be trying to do this in a van when the weather's like this. I don't want to turn this into a bitch session, which a lot of my videos I know can tend to end up that way. because it seems to me for some reason like speaking about it helps me to process it. So to turn the camera on and roll is a form of therapy for me, actually. It's sort of like, because I feel like even though I really don't have I don't have much of a viewership really, but I do know that I generally get at least a couple of people viewing my videos that aren't me, and sometimes more. So even if there's just one other person out there that's like watching this, it's sort of like, and I see that, it still does something for me to know that somebody out there is like listening to me, and hearing my thoughts, and it just makes me feel a little bit less alone. And even if nobody's watching it, there's something psychological about like talking as if somebody were there that makes it sort of feel kind of therapeutic. Yeah, it's just wild. How what I don't know. I'm just observing what this does to somebody. I guess trying to live in a van in like an extreme weather event like this that lasts for several days. I don't even remember when this started actually, but it's been more than a week at least. And it's just interesting. It sort of feels like sometimes when life is beating you up and maybe humans are involved and you feel like you want to blame somebody for it, and something feels unfair, and it sort of like has that sort of a feeling to it, and yet there's nobody to blame for it. It's just the weather. It's just what the weather does. I mean, actually there kind of is, if you want to get down to like climate change, because this is extreme, and this really probably isn't really normal. I've lived in Seattle for actually 30 years. Actually, I am coming up on my 30-year anniversary in a couple months, actually, now that I really think about it. So basically 30 years that I've lived in Seattle. And I do know that we do have extreme weather events like this pretty much every winter. So but this one really is on another level as far as like the flooding that this has caused. So I really can't say that this is actually a yearly thing, like to this level, to this degree. I've never seen flooding like this has caused in the region ever in 30 years that I've been here. So yeah, like it's getting to me, and we had some really bad storms last fall, and that got to me. And it's hard. Listen to that. And this is like night after night of dealing with this. I almost feel like there is no safe place to be right now in a van that isn't like in a garage or something like that. It's like I said, I'm under power lines right now. And that could be a bad situation, you know? So this just grinds on you, man, and I just really don't have a lot of motivation, and so I guess I'm just sort of just rolling with it. I'm just like sitting here in bed, watching YouTube videos, probably gonna read, but I have no motivation whatsoever to engage in anything that requires any kind of effort at all. Another thing I've been noticing too is like, and it's typical in winter too for me, I think it's pretty typical for most people that you eat more, like you're hungrier. I feel a lot hungrier and a lot more sort of cravings, and because of being in the van, I feel like I experience the elements and the weather a lot more than the average person. So I almost wonder if it isn't like my body kind of responding to the fact that I'm experiencing cold more than I would normally this time of year. And because it just feels like it happens every winter. I've been acutely aware of it, but it seems like it's even more this winter that I've been feeling that. Like I feel like I just want to eat like hearty meals and like potato, like meat and potatoes. And like I just had like 2 nights in a row, I just had like turkey dinners from the like Town and Country buffet. And like, I don't know, it's like my body just wants to pack the calories. It wants to put on some weight to sort of protect myself against these elements. I don't want to make it sound like I'm out in the elements all the time, like a truly houseless person out there having to survive in tents and things like that. But I mean, that's pretty hardcore extreme right there. So it isn't on that kind of level, or even somebody doing it intentionally, like a intense, extreme, like backpacking, outdoors situation. But it's closer to that than just somebody living in an apartment, probably somewhere in between. And I'm running heat. I'm warm right now. I have a my propane heater is running. It's actually on high, and I actually probably need to turn it down. It probably doesn't need to be that high right now. But I don't run that during the night. So nighttime's always cold, and especially in the mornings. And a lot of times I'm like, when I get up in the mornings, I'm like cleaning up, I'm changing clothes, which means at some point I'm naked basically. And depending on the morning, a lot of times I don't have my heater running at all. So whatever the temperature in the van is what I'm rolling with. So there's just a lot of times when I'm in the van, in my comings and goings, when there's no heat in here, and yet I'm in here, and I don't like always turn the heater on because I kind of have to move things around in order to run my heater. And so sometimes I'm just not, maybe I'm about to drive off somewhere in 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever. But maybe there's things in the van I need to sort of attend to, or I'm not ready to go just yet, and I don't have my engine running for the heat to run. So just a lot of stuff like that. Or times when I have to go outside to run certain errands. I need to walk 10 minutes to a bathroom to dump out my pee bottles, or I have to just go to the bathroom at all, and it's cold out and potentially rainy and potentially windy. And so it's just things like that you don't really think about. All of the different errands that you have to run that you wouldn't have to do if you lived in a house that has a lot of those things like laundry, and a bathroom and a shower, and you can even work out at home if you're set up for it. So like there's a lot of things that a lot of sort of normal that people have in more normal situations, to where they don't even ever have to leave their home for they can be self-contained for like really long periods of time and like never leave their home. And so it's like those kinds of things force you to be out in the elements. And I'm not like complaining really at all. Like there's a part of me that kind of likes it actually, because it's like it builds character. Like it really does. Like I feel like it's given me a sort of an edge that makes me feel like I'm living closer to my edge than I really ever have before. And getting through some of these experiences definitely kind of makes me feel, I don't know, it makes me feel like kind of a badass in a way that a lot of people never really get pushed in those kind of ways. So I'm really thankful that I've had like the experience of now being into like my second winter and having, enduring and surviving these kinds of situations. But having said all that, like I was sort of talking about my body, and so I feel like my body is like responding to a lot of that, and it just wants to pack on the calories. And I mean, you look at a bear in the wild, what are they doing when they're preparing for the winter? Is they're packing on the calories. And we're really kind of similar physiologically to bears in that respect, I think. But anyway, I'm just rambling. A lot of things, I guess, on my mind. It's interesting. Maybe I'll just cut it off. I don't really have a whole real point to this one. It's just felt like rolling the camera and I don't know, offloading a little bit, sharing my experience, because it's kind of an intense experience, this weather thing that's happening right now. Oh, I know what I was going to say is that it's like experiences like this are like why I want to not like live in, probably make me not want to live in the Northwest during the winter anymore. Like, I think I want to kind of refocus my goals towards getting down to the desert, at least for part of the winter. I don't think I will spend like, I don't think I will want to spend my entire winter in the Southwest. But I gotta dry out, man. This is just ridiculous. This is like it's not healthy. It's not healthy for me. The darkness too, I haven't really spoken a lot about that, but it gets dark here. Like, I'm not sure when sundown is right exactly now, but it's like, at least a couple of weeks ago, it was like 4:30 is sundown. And I think it's like less than that. It's even earlier than that now. And it might be like a quarter after 4 or something like that. And obviously some of that has to do with the time. Is it daylight saving? I always get this wrong. I always forget which one we're on, whether it's daylight savings or standard time, and which it is at which time of year. But because we lose that hour of daylight by setting the clocks back an hour in the fall, it makes it worse. That's a thing that really drives me crazy. Like, I would rather be on the time of what it is just in the summer and like leave it there, I think, and leave it at that time all year round. Because when you live in in this sort of northern latitude, I'd rather have that hour of daylight at the end of the day rather than at the beginning. That would go some ways towards, I think, helping with the seasonal affective disorder, because that's just you're getting more. I feel like you're getting more hours of daylight that are available to you working like a normal schedule, you know. So that's one complaint I have, but it's just like, man, I mean, today I was in town and I was getting basically my dinner. It was an early dinner, but it was like 3:00 or 2:30. No, it was 3:00, and I knew I had about an hour. I had some time there to eat before driving over here because I don't like driving in the dark, and I knew I had at least an hour before sundown, but it was already dark. at like 3 o'clock. A lot, I mean, obviously the overcast, the rain, and everything has a lot to do with that. But when you're like when you're like little more than an hour away from sundown and you have those other things factoring in, it's dark. I mean, it's mostly dark all day, but it's like it's especially dark by like 3 o'clock, and it's like the day's over already. I mean, it's only like, I don't even think it's 6 o'clock yet, and it feels like it's 10 o'clock at night. It's just ridiculous. Like, there's some things about it that I do kind of like. I mean, it's cozy. It's like I am kind of I'm inside, in some respects, kind of a person. I do like the quiet, contemplative sort of lifestyle that I guess promotes isn't really the word, but encourages. I don't know. But I do kind of like that, but it's also not, I don't know. I like it and I don't like it. And this constant rain is not, I don't know, it just has me on edge. I like this, do generally like the sound of rain on the roof. I've talked about that before. But when it's nonstop like this and constant, it makes you start feeling trapped inside the van. And that's not very healthy. And I've been really jonesing to want to be able to get out and do hikes and stuff. And I really haven't been able to do that this fall and winter for a variety of reasons, but right now it's because of the weather, and then there's floods all over the place. There's just no way I'm going out to the mountains or anything right now. There's all kinds of shit going on out there with like landslides and washouts and extreme flooding all over the region. It's just bad out there. So I'm probably not going to end up being able to do any like real outdoor activity before the new year, before I get back from holiday. At least not here. So yeah, that's just all of that to say that I'm trying to really kind of work that into my goals and my plans to be able to spend some time down in the South. I might even be able to do it this winter. We'll see. I'm starting to think a little bit more about it again, actually, in January. Maybe heading down to the Southwest. Because I feel like I gotta dry out, man, a little bit. I mean, sort of like metaphorically in a way, but also like literally too. I mean, this van just needs to be aired out, dried out, cleaned out. And yeah, so yeah, I'm just this could be my last full winter if I don't go anywhere this winter. This could be my last full winter in the northwest, in the north, really, in general, because I've lived in northern climates my whole life. I'm originally from Michigan, lived in the northwest for 30 years. I've never spent any significant amount of time in a warm weather place during the winter, and I feel like it's time to start making some changes on that level. And I just can't keep doing this. It's just what it feels like. And I don't think I would want to spend necessarily my whole winter somewhere down south, because a couple years ago I started getting into snowshoeing, and I feel like that would be something I want to continue on, for the rest of my years. I feel like that's a kind of activity that I'd like to continue being able to do. So I know I would want to stay somewhere northerly that gets snow like that, to be able to do that kind of activity. But I feel like I also would like to spend at least part of the winter months down south somewhere. I'm talking like at a minimum maybe 3 weeks to like a month, and maybe longer. All right, well, I think I've talked myself out. I'm just sort of rambling randomly, so there's not anything real, necessarily any real point to any of what I'm sort of talking about here. So I'm gonna call that a wrap, and I will catch you on the next one.